Hey everybody, welcome back to another movie review. Hope you guys have been enjoying the content on the channel as of late. Just been a shit ton of reviews on the channel and just a bunch of stuff going on. So hope you guys have been enjoying the just gargantuan, amounts of, content. We did Oppenheimer yesterday, so now for the debate as it is online, the stupid debate that's been happening. Went to see Barbie out of complete self-indulgence and out of complete masochist sensibilities. So here we are. So co-written and directed by Greta Gerwig, who previously did Lady Bird as well as Little Women, which both were films that I enjoyed. More so Lady Bird than Little Women. And also co-written by Noah Baumbach, who's also a very well-known filmmaker. Tells, yeah, you can already tell based on that tone how I feel about it. But so the film is about, well, as the title suggests, the toy of Barbie, played by Margot Robbie, as well as the other merchandise, I guess you could say. One of them played by Ryan Gosling, as well as a bunch of other people. And the Barbie, as it will, and the Ken doll decide to travel to the real world because Barbie, played by Margot Robbie, is experiencing real world feeling. She's feeling quite depressed. She's feeling quite anxious and has kind of these suicidal type of thoughts happening, and very extreme type of thoughts happening. And one of the dolls, played by Kate McKinnon, decides to push her into the real world in search of the child that once had her, or vice versa. It's just contrivances to get to a certain kind of agenda and a certain kind of statement. Because the thing about the film that really bothered me, and it just was aggressive about it, was that the movie, essentially what the film is about identity, and it's about independence, very familiar themes within a certain political regime. But the approaches to it are very, very progressive type of ideologies and very progressive type of thinking, to the point where it is basically a black and white type of presentation, where the women are good and the men are bad. Women are good, men are bad. And what comes across the most to me is a parody-like quality, because I get it, the film's trying to be exaggerative, and it's trying to make a certain point within these exaggerations. But funny enough, with Kate McKinnon being in this film, it comes off more as an SNL skit than an actual fundamental or cohesive piece of storytelling. Because as I said, I don't have an issue with political stuff in films. I would expect that in mainstream culture, but this just cemented itself into that place. And what you get out of it is something that is quite irritating and quite redundant and quite forceful, quite aggressive, because it makes this point almost entirely throughout. It's like a piece of propaganda, to be quite honest with you. And I didn't want to say that about a film like Barbie, but for how the film approaches its ideas, it almost uses Barbie as a disguise, almost, to push its agenda forward. Like, you can put anything else at the center of this, and it would be the exact same thing. So it's not really Barbie per se. You could just call it women. You could just call it independence. Like, there's many other ways that you can just approach this without the Barbie element, because Barbie is not important to the story. What's important to the story is its politics, its ideas, its agendas, its inclusive type message, even though it's strictly towards women and not towards all people. And I get that there is that sense of realism, which comes to near the end. There's a fairly touching scene towards the end, which I'll admit worked for me. Which at that point I felt, okay, this is starting to become more real, and it feels a little bit more authentic in terms of design and overall interest and just overall, presentation. And maybe that is the point, but the kind of sort of meta, kind of sort of experimental type of approach really, in my opinion, is just a means to represent politics. It's not a means of representing good storytelling. It's not a means of representing appealing characters, because I found the performances also to be just pretty dull. I think Will Ferrell was personally my favorite because I feel like somewhere deep down he realizes what he's doing. He doesn't have to take it, a certain way. And I know that some of you guys might be thinking that, well, oh, you just went into this, wanting to hate it because you have a certain political affiliation, or, oh, it's Barbie. Obviously, as a dude, obviously you're just going to hate it. I actually went into this being very objective. When the movie started, I immediately told myself, okay, just be objective, okay? I understand as a man. I mean, I didn't play dolls when I was a kid, okay? But I'm willing to give it a shot, And almost 15 minutes in, I immediately started to worry. And then that worry became more and more and more, and to the point where I was just like, this is what it is. This is a piece of propaganda. This is something that has only one interest in mind, which is to push its ideas. It's only there to push a certain agenda forward. It's not there to create genuine characters. It's not there to create genuine drama. It's there to just spill out its thoughts about progressive ideologies, about left-wing ideologies, and to push a very ignorant statement forward that I guess you have to be, in that ballpark, in that type of political involvement or that political feeling to jive with the film. Because if you're not, as someone like me, you'll find it very irritating, very fake in design. I get that that's the point, but it doesn't feel authentic. It just feels fake. You get performances that are pretty dull. You get a story that is just so like throwaway. This is something that you would find in the 90s. Those Dollar Tree, type of movies, like what you would find in the 90s. Or when Blockbuster was around, you'd find that one movie in like the far corner, and you're like, okay, I guess it seems kind of weird, but I'll give it a shot. That's the kind of thing we're getting here. It's just a disposable narrative. You get characters that are just that. It's funny because the movie is Margot Robbie's character says, "Oh, I'm a stereotype," and it's like the whole thing, in some regards, is a stereotype, and it's making a certain point within that, but it's not where it feels empowering. It just makes everybody look even more stupid. Like, that's like, again, the arrogance, the ridiculousness of these points. And I know we're getting into political stuff, but that's just what the film is all about, and that's all the film cares about. And for me, like, as someone who's not into that sort of thing, I just found it incredibly annoying and incredibly boring and just downright like ignorant, So, I do think that it has some earnest emotions towards the end, and I do think that by design, like the visuals, it's interesting enough, but I hate the fact that that something like this chooses to use the license of Barbie and not use it to where they want to basically adapt its source material. They're using its source material to just as a means of a disguise to push a certain political message forward and to insert political ideas forward. It's not about Barbie. It's about females. It's about empowerment. It's about individualism, but only for the women's benefit. Like, it's just, progressive stuff. And, like, compared to the other films, like How to Blow Up a Pipeline and Ruby Gillman, those presentations, like I said before, I said it with another film, but I'm going to bring it up again in context of Barbie. Like, compared to how they represent the progressive ideologies in Ruby Gillman and the others, they are much more sensitive. But this is just up in your face and just aggressive with it, and I just got really irritated by it, and I just could not stop just getting irritated by it. So it's not anything to do with the fact that I'm a man. It has nothing to do with the fact that I didn't play Barbie dolls or I have a certain prejudice against the film. I didn't. I was actually very objective when I went into the film. But I did not expect the heightened politics and those heightened type of sensibilities to be at the forefront. I expected them to be somewhere, but not so upfront and like choking me, it for the sake of, talking about a certain sort of political ideology. It's politically motivated. It's only politically motivated, and I think that for a movie, it's okay to have that there, but I need to have other stuff too, such as emotions, developments, characters that I actually give a shit about, and like, it's propaganda. I'm sorry. Like, I watched this and I think this is propaganda. There's no other way to represent this, because propaganda is literally using a certain format to represent a certain, it's like, like you see what actual propaganda looks like Triumph of the Will or something like that, or other ways, other films that represent propaganda. This is propaganda. They're just using the license as a means to disguise its messages. So I firmly believe that of what Barbie truly is. And you can call it meta and experimental, and yes, in terms of how it represents itself, yes, it is kind of sort of that sort of kind of approach, but I see it more as just, hey, how can we talk politically and not get a bunch of hate because of it? I know, let's just use a license. So, yeah, so I could speak more on it, but you could tell that I wouldn't say that I hated it, but I was very surprised in the I wouldn't say the worst way possible, but definitely in the, like, you know what I mean. So those are my thoughts on Barbie. I can't say I hated it, but like I said, definitely surprised. So I decided to bring my brother along for this. I just decided to subject him to this as well. So I'm gonna swing the camera over here. As you can see, he enjoyed it. So and just before he starts, I just want to make clear, we were sitting next to a daughter and mother. The daughter being like 16, 17, so not like a young kid. Mm-hmm. The mother, but this was before the movie started, by the way. We were having our own fun. We were just talking, whatever, like that. And she decides to just to abruptly, just come talk to me and say, "Hey, can you guys stop talking? Okay, you're being very disrespectful. I paid a lot of money, just, so." Yeah. But yeah, I'm gonna get out of the way, and you take the spotlight. So what did you think?
What in the hell was that? What it was that film? That was not a Barbie movie. I'm gonna be honest with you.
It wasn't Barbie.
That was not a Barbie movie. Yeah, sure. I'll give a few, maybe from the past 5-10 minutes in the film I got into it. Yeah, sure. It was just like a Barbie film. But when it started getting to political stuff and stereotypical stuff, I'm like, this is not what Barbies are for. They're just toys. They're just little toys. Mm-hmm. And then when I got to the real world stuff, and I'm like, okay, this is not a Barbie movie. This is not a Barbie movie. What is this? This is not what I think it is. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think what else. Oh my god, I have not a lot to speak about this. This film was so bad. And it was funny because the only thing I liked about the film was when I left and I saw my friend. That was the only thing I know. Yeah. My friend just came in and said, "Yo, I saw you at the theater and stuff." I was like, "Okay, cool."
I know, you were very happy to see him.
Yeah, I was like, I haven't seen him in a while. But I almost fell asleep on 1 or 2 times from.
He did. He literally fell asleep 2 times. I noticed. He was really dozed off.
Because let me guess. Because all I thought was the plot was just gonna be all talk about, women should be better, or men should be better. It's like a both guy and woman fighting thing, right? Mm-hmm. Over a Barbie selection and stuff. All of this was jokes. I'm not into that stuff. All I thought was it's just gonna be some Barbies, and I knew it was gonna be them about having to tell his child, hey, stop making me have some real problems feelings. But I did not expect politics and stuff, because what is the rating of this movie? Isn't this a kid's movie?
I think it's PG-13.
It's PG. If it was just PG-13, maybe I'll let it slide. But PG, that's a little too much. Because this had stereotypical stuff. There was one scene. I'll say one scene. There was one scene where remember when they were talking, this girl like with her kid. I forgot their names, but she went off crazy about saying women have to do this and they have to keep doing this and that, and she gets so furious about it.
I know, man.
And I'm just like, in my head, I'm like, whoa. I'm like, why do we need to know all this? Like, you're just letting it all out.
Yeah, it's just a political dump. Like, it's as if we haven't had enough of that in the movie. So,
like, I've got through that, and I'm like, at this point, I'm like, this is why either one, this is why the box office is not going to get any money from that.
oh, I think it's gonna make a lot of money.
You sure?
Oh yeah, people are sadistic. They want to see this. So.
Or maybe it's just because it's the film named Barbie. They just probably never seen it.
Yeah, it's the notion of a Barbie movie. I think it'll make a lot of money.
A Barbie movie, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we saw it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it got us out to see it.
Yeah, but I just hope that Teenage Mutant Turtles would be more better.
Yeah, we're planning on seeing Ninja Turtles next together, so.
Yeah, but this was the worst film maybe the worst film I've seen this year. Personally this year. But the best one, obviously, this is out of topic, but the best one is obviously, you already know, it's the Mario Brothers movie. That one made the best and stuff. Good narrative, good comedy, good everything like that, whatever. Mm-hmm. But since Barbie, I don't know. I don't care if this film wins. In my personal opinion, this was a worse movie that Warner Brothers did, and I'll be surprised if this thing flopped. Right?
There actually is a rumor that Warner Brothers put this movie against Oppenheimer because Nolan used to work for Warner Brothers.
Oppenheimer's gonna win.
No, actually, Barbie is winning, but.
What?
But they put this against Oppenheimer because apparently they're pissed off at Nolan for leaving them. So they're just like, oh, just fuck you. We'll just put Barbie in front of Oppenheimer then. I don't know if that's real or not. I've heard that's just rumors, but they're winning. So, but yeah. I'll say this: a lot of times I close my eyes just because I was
catching you closing your eyes, and I was like,
yeah, and
I was like relatable, man, relatable.
Yeah, like I wasn't falling asleep per se. I was more like
you fell asleep more on Ruby Gillman.
I did, yeah.
More than the other film, yeah.
With this, I was just closing my eyes because I was like, how much more are they gonna speak on this? Like, I'm just waiting to get
I feel like I was
watching
a documentary about politics. That's all I was watching.
Seriously, I seriously think
I really think on their production team. I really think they just started this dumb idea, be like, yo, I'm feeling a little political today, right? But instead of making a politics movie where everyone's gonna get mad about, we're gonna get a license from a toys that I bet a lot of people asked, but we're gonna ruin it by putting adult stuff on it.
Right.
Which is straight out of stuff. Sure, maybe there's some stuff on the Barbie's marketing that probably had some adult stuff, but it wasn't that as crazy as this film did. All right.
Yeah, I don't remember the Barbie. I remember seeing the trailer. I just don't remember seeing any of this inserted into the.
No, it was just like a Barbie film. It was like a Barbie film.
Yeah, it's just about Barbie
what happened?
going to the real world. And now.
What happened?
Then all this stuff shows up. It's like, what,
Yeah.
But.
That's so silly, man.
But any final thoughts?
I would rate it 3 out of 10. Or just to be 2 out of 10. 3 out of 10 is too nice.
Damn.
That is, yeah, 2 out of 10.
Wow. Well, there you have it. But
if you want to go see the film, you do it. I'm not.
No, obviously, it's your choice. Obviously,
it's your choice. Yes.
Obviously, yeah. I think that like I said, I think that it will do well. I mean, lately, box office has not been great, but
yeah,
I actually think people are going to be morbidly curious to see this. So I do think that this will perform well. But yeah, I think that I think it's funny also because Greta Gerwig has done films in the past that they have female leads, but they're not politically motivated. So it's so interesting to see her go from doing small independent productions that have female leads that don't require that political edge to something like this that is all politically motivated. You know.
Yeah.
I think that that's the disappointing thing about the film for me. But those are our thoughts on Barbie. We literally dedicated like 20 minutes talking about it.
Yeah.
So
One thing is for sure, I rather watch Ruby Gillman than Barbie.
Oh yeah, much more.
Ruby
yeah.
Gillman was less stereotypical. I mean, the only thing we were mostly bragging about that movie was like about saying that, oh, women have the power to become this krakens and stuff like that,
Right.
and the men have to be these small krakens.
Like that's
Like that was the only thing that was
Yeah.
like making us be like, why? What do we do?
I mean, it's like, it's also like, at least for me, I mean, it was boring, but it's like, I mean, I could.
Oh yeah,
I
plot
could
was
sit,
easy. Like again.
Yeah, like I could sit through it again. Like it's an easy film. This is like, to me again, like it's just propaganda. It's just like just shoving an agenda down my throat.
Yeah,
It's like,
it
I
was.
don't
It was like beating a dead horse so many times.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like so many times throughout the film,
Mhm.
like they blatantly make it about like gender war and other type of political stuff going on.
True.
Like they try to get the men and women to go against each other, and then it's like
Mhm.
the women have to come up on top because of a certain political regime. It's like, anyway, you know. So, but
The guy who played Elf was like, he looked like he was disappointed to play this.
I honestly think he had the most fun, just because
He did, but he looked like he at the same. I could tell by his face. I don't know why. I just look at him. He looks like he absolutely hates being here. He's just like saying, like, I'm doing the best. I know I am doing the best, but you guys are making a complete nuisance and narcissistic stuff about this movie.
Yeah, it's like
what the heck?
it's like he kind of understands the approach that he has to take, so he has to be like, like I said, it's just there's so much of a parody like quality to the film, but it's like it doesn't work.
I would love to talk to him and ask him like about how was your experience and what you really, and I mean really, like, because I know he's gonna say it's probably good because you know in damn well his mind's like, I can't really tell you because you know with the non-disclosure agreement I can't. I have to always be so positive about it,
right,
and stuff like that, and it's just unfortunate. Like, I know the NDA is like trying to have to always be positive about this, and the actors can't make, at least they can't have like, I can agree that, you know how NDAs say that you can't spoil anything, don't make any stuff about it,
Don't talk negative about our movie.
Yeah, the only thing about that, I was like, why can't they have their opinions? Like, that's so weird, right?
I know.
Like, I get spoiling. I mean, you worked hard, but an opinion, really? Okay, that's so
Right.
weird. But yeah, this video is gonna be way too long. I've realized it's too long. Yeah, but it just really tells me that this is one of the worst films that probably I've seen this year. I have future films coming up this year, so I won't assume this is the worst ever in this year. So we'll see in the future, and I definitely will see Teenage Mutant Turtles, and what else? There's what is it? Something Beetle?
Blue
Beetle, Migration, and there's LEO, that's next year, and more films, just more films. I can't answer all of them, but yeah. Bad film. Said it so many times, man.
Right.
Yeah, I think I'm getting it. I think I'm the one beating the dead horse now. Yeah.
No, you're good. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, guys, that is our thoughts on Barbie. As you can tell, we liked it.
Totally.
We really liked it.
Yeah, totally. We loved it.
So yeah, so that's our thoughts. Let us know your thoughts on Barbie if you guys chose to see it. Be nice in the comments, by the way. I understand that this is very politically motivated, so just be neutral in the comments. But
yeah.
But yeah, that's our thoughts on the film. Thank you guys for tuning in. Stay tuned for more reviews in the future. Like I said, we got Ninja Turtles coming up next,
Yep.
so look out for that when it comes out. And yeah, that's it for this video, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. And until then, we will catch you guys in the next video. Bye. Guys.